Hi, I'm Callum from Tyne Valley Motorhomes, and this is the handover of the Malibu Charmin 640. So as a start, we'll walk around on the driver's side of the vehicle first. You've got your sliding cargo door with a fly screen for in the summer months, and then above you've got your steps. You've got your wastewater point here. So to empty your wastewater, you'd simply turn the handle and you'll see the water draining further back. So this is anything you've put down a plug hole. You drive over a grid on the way out of the campsite called the motorhome service bay, and you drop your water. Obviously in the winter it's very important that you winterize the vehicle, and this is one of the points you would have to drain down to stop the water from freezing in the wastewater plastic tank below the chassis. To fill with fresh water, you'd use the key and open here and put a hose pipe in there until it either overflows or until you're happy you've got enough water on board. If you are going wild camping where you're off grid and just using your gas and 12 volt, you will have to take a full tank of water with you. If you're going to a site, tend to travel with a minimum, or should I say a maximum of 20 litres, so you can use the toilet and have a cup of tea if you're going on that longer journey and you want to make a stop. At the back of the vehicle, you've got your high level brake light and your reverse camera. You've got your bike rack here. So this is a 2-person bike rack. So if you take your strap off, pull your rails down, you put your bike wheels on the rails and these through the spokes, and then you put these on the crossbars of the bike. So you've got the first bike and the second bike, and then what you will want to do is put some sort of security around the bike, so i.e. a bike lock. Just to make sure that if you ever did stop at the service stations or pull over, that your bikes are safe if you ever had to leave the vehicle. And then you can put this strap round. And then on the bottom of the bumper you'll see that you do have rear parking sensors as well. Opening the back door, you can make them go to 160 degrees by pushing the buttons in. Not that one. But this one won't because of the bike rack, but the other side will. Underneath the mattress, if you lift this cover up, to drain your fresh water off. So I've showed you how to drain your waste off. To drain your fresh off, you would use this little cog here, and you'll see if you turn it you can open the water, and this is to drain the fresh water off should you have taken contaminated water on, or should you want to drain it down in the winter to stop it freezing in the tanks. This side you've got your gas, so you can fit 2 6-kilogram propane bottles in here. So you'd use the straps to tie them in once they were in situ, turn on and off from the top of the bottle, and then your pigtail is just a hand tighten, so it's a left hand thread with it being gas, so opposite threads, hand tighten, and then obviously you can just disconnect and connect it to another bottle should one bottle become empty. You've got this false floor here, so you've double floor, so that just lifts in and out, so it gives you better storage, or you can lift that out should you want to put bigger items in with the bed folded up, which I'll show you how to do that from inside. And you've got rear tethering points to tie your load down should you need to. You've got your blinds and your fly screens on your windows at the back as well. Coming around the passenger side of the vehicle, the boiler is located behind here, so this is just a vent that allows the exhaust emissions from the Truma boiler system out. And then you've got your mains connectivity points, so to hook up, get your hooker blade, lift the collar, slide on, hook the vehicle up first, then your power source, and obviously do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle, as we wouldn't want you walking around with a live lead should it be damaged or should it be wet. We don't want you getting electric shock. And then pushing the two catches in, you've got your toilet. So to get the cassette out, you've got to engage the position as it's a fold away toilet. So engage position B, lift the collar, make sure the blade on the bottom bowl of the toilet is closed. You've a lift out, you've got some wheels so you can drag it along to your waste disposal site, which is normally behind or beside your toilet block. And then you'd simply remove the grey cap, tip to 90 degrees, press the orange button, tip it out. Once you've tipped it out, there's normally a tap. Put some water in via the spout, give it that final rinse and tip out again. And then if you're using the liquid form of chemical, a cap full of the blue or the green liquid into the cassette and it's good to go into the vehicle. Or if you're using the tablet form, again green or blue tablets, you put a pint of water in and then drop a tablet into the toilet, which will break down into the liquid. And then you'll just simply push it back in to the vehicle. So I've turned it down, so the next point you've got is your diesel. So your diesel opens with your main ignition key, and because it's a Euro 6D compliant engine, it's got AdBlue, which is a 19 litre tank. When the AdBlue light comes on the fade between the fuel and temperature gauge, and it looks like an exhaust light, simply pull over and fill with AdBlue either via the garage forecourt or you can buy it in the drums to top it up. But when it does come on, if you can fill it up as soon as possible, as if not, the vehicle can go into limp mode, or if it goes completely dry of AdBlue, it will not start. On the passenger door, you've got your tyre pressure, so 5.5 bar, which is 79.5 psi all round. All your 12 volt fuse system is underneath the passenger seat, so they just are standard blade fuses, so I would carry some spares. You've got your main engine batteries underneath here, so if you ever needed to lift it out in the future, it's through the carb floor. And your bonnet release is on the side of the dashboard. Tyre inflation kit is in the side of the passenger door pocket. So now underneath the bonnet, so you've got all your fluids this side, so you've got your screen wash. This cover lifts off and fills your power steering fluid and your coolant. You've got your brake fluid, you've got your engine oil and your dipstick there. You've got your weight plate, so 3.5 ton. Gross vehicle weight, 6 ton if you were to put a tow bar on and tow with this. The train weight can't exceed 6 ton, which is the vehicle and the motorhome. Or should I say, whatever you're towing in the motorhome. You've got your earth, and then should you want to, for giving a jump start, and then your positive is just located underneath this catch here, and there is your positive and negative for giving a jump start. And to operate your Fiamma F80S awning, use your winding handle, wind it out until you can reach inside of the canopy, so we're about there. And then you've got 2 legs, so you can simply grab them towards you, pull them down, use the toggle to dictate the height of your awning, and then tighten. Obviously peg your feet once you've walked it out, so always put the legs down first, wind it and walk it out until you're happy that it's out further enough. And then if you ever wanted to put a drive away awning on, your C rail is here, and obviously with your awning, make sure it does go in on a night, and if you go out it goes in, because you don't know what the wind speeds are going to pick up to. And if don't use your awning in any more wind speeds than 15 miles an hour, otherwise the awning could damage your vehicle or the vehicle you park next to. So once you come into the vehicle, if you lift up the cover, behind here you have your 12 volt control panel and Truma heating and hot water panel, which I'll show you in a moment. So you've got your main master switch here, which turns on the 12 volt or 240 if you are hooked up like we are now. It'll show you that you're hooked up. So we are receiving 240 volts and all the 3-pin sockets within the vehicle should work. You've got your music icon here, which basically turns your head unit on. As when you start the engine, it's off the ignition. If you turn this on, it's off the leisure battery, so you can use it when you're parked up and you're not going to drain the engine battery. It'll all start working off the leisure, so you can have the radio on when you're on site. And then you've got the buttons down the side, so you've got your battery at the front of the vehicle, which is your engine battery. You've got your battery at the back of the vehicle, which is your leisure battery. You've got your fresh water, which is showing just under 25% there. So there's a bit in there, but it will need topped up. And then you do have your wastewater here, which is showing nothing because I've just opened it from outside. Coming along to your Truma panel, so to turn on and off you just press and hold the black button here, and then this is showing that it's on, but to get into the main menu you would just press enter, and in the far top left hand corner you've got the motorhome with the thermometer in. This is the temperature of the vehicle, so you've got all the way to 30 degrees or all the way to off, so you can decide on what temperature you want. So for this we'll just say 30, and then we'll press enter, which is preset at the heating to 30 degrees. And then moving along you've got your water. So if you've got no water in the boiler, it would have to be off because it's like a kettle with no water in, you'd fry the element. You've got eco, which is heating the water on 40 degrees. You've got hot, which is heating the water at 60 degrees. And you've got boost, which will turn off the heating and prioritise the water. So for this we'd just say hot, so 60 degrees of heating your water. And then moving along, this is what's source. So you've got gas on its own. So if you're wild camping, you'd use gas. You've got a mixture of 1 kilowatt of electric and gas. You've got a mixture of 2 kilowatts of electric and gas. So this is double the source, which reduces the heating time. This is great for in the winter months if you're hooked up and you've got your gas on. Obviously it will heat your water far quicker and heat the motorhome far quicker should it be cold. And then you would turn the mix off and put it back onto electric and stop wasting your gas. You've got electric on 1 kilowatt, which you'd use on small SCL sites or abroad if you're drawing too much current and tripping the vehicle out. Or you've got electric on 2 kilowatts, which you can use on most sites within this country, depending on what your ampage given through the hookup lead is. And then finally you've got your fan speed, so you can have it on eco or high. This is a 12 volt assisted fan, so you'd use eco more on an evening, and if you're wild camping, as you wouldn't want to waste your 12 volt fan. And then you've got high, which the fans will get slightly louder, so again that's why you'd use eco on an evening. Come down to the bottom left hand corner, you've got a timer, so you can time it to come on and off once. You've got the time displayed on the main control panel, and should you get a warning triangle in the middle, you'd go to the settings, which is in the bottom right, go to reset, click enter, it'll come a preset, click enter again, and it will reset the control panel, so you'll have to go back and individually set everything up again. To operate your Thetford 12 volt fridge, you'd simply press and hold the on off button, so that's it off. Press and hold, and there it's come back on. You've got your temperature here, so you just press, so that's 5 bars. Sometimes people say it can be too cold, so what you need to do is just press the bar that you want it to go on to. So there it's gone to 4, and if I hold there it's gone to 2, and then you can just scroll it back up and scroll it down. And you've got the night mode here, which is the little moon, which you turn on, like so, by just pressing, and it'll just reduce the decibels of the fridge on an evening. Once you are finished with it for the season, if you do clean it out, and then what you want to do is just pull this blue little clip halfway, and it'll stop the door from locking on itself to allow air circulation in and out to stop any mold and bacteria growing in the fridge. Above the fridge you do have your lights for around the vehicle, and you've got your indoor light just here for above the door. Cutlery drawer with your gas tap for your hob. Which lights like so. So once you've had this on, if you do allow it to cool before you put your glass lid down, stop it from smashing. And this is just showing your water pump is working and your water is getting the temperature there because it's getting nice and warm. And above, to open all the lockers, overhead lockers, if you push the chrome catch in behind to release the door. You've got storage next to the kitchen, below, and then in this one you've got a handy little hanging rail. Then lifting these up, you've got two access, so you can either lift the mattress up, and you've got some more hanging rail for your wardrobe and a tethering point, or you can open the door at the front to get in. And then to move this step forward, obviously it's locked in there for travel via these two lugs, so you'd unscrew the wing nuts, take them out, and then you can pull the step forward or back, or remove it should you want to put loading bikes or anything larger in the vehicle, which you can't get in with that in place. Your bathroom door also acts as your bedroom door, so what you can do is, it's a little stop out on the kitchen, push it up and then you can lock it in, and then you've got this secondary flap which will just go there and black the whole front out from the back, so you can get a bit of privacy should you be having a lie down. To open the skylight above the bed, you push the button in and then pull the bar along, or you can put into the grooves should you want a bit of ventilation with it open on an evening or during the day. But always make sure that you push the bar above the button and the button pops out before you do start travelling, and make sure they're securely shut, because they are just plastic and the strong gust of wind could damage these, and they're very expensive to repair, so just make sure that they are shut before you travel. Put a blackout blind for on an evening and a fly screen. You've got blackout blinds on your porthole windows on both sides, as this vehicle has been opted with porthole windows and a fly screen above. And then you can open them, and to keep them out you just turn the black wheel to keep the window open. Loosen it will bring the window in, and then turn the handles to close the window. So your toilet on this model is a fold away toilet, so what you need to do is lift the black pedal, turn at the same time with your hand and slide it out. You can see there that position A is the storage position, position C is to use the toilet, and position B is to empty the toilet. So it tells you here on the toilet, obviously using that button there and the pedal on the bottom of the pedestal, you can pull the toilet out. To operate the toilet, you've got your toilet flush just hidden down here, so flush your toilet first, and then what you'll want to do is open the blade, which is slide to the right, use the toilet with the blade open, then flush after use and slide to the left to isolate the blade, which then will allow you to get the cassette out should you need to change the cassette. Should it be open, you'll not be able to get the cassette out the outside of the vehicle, you'll just not be able to lift that orange handle and pull it out, so make sure it is shut. You will get a green light on here when the cassette is full and requires to be changed. And then when showering, this little handy cover stops your water from lying on the top of the lid of the toilet and flooding behind, so if you just pull that down, it'll just make sure it all goes into the plug below. You've got your shower head, so take your shower head off your shower hose, leave your mixer taps open when winterizing, and allow this hose to lie down in the shower tray, so any water will just drain out your waste. So leave all your plugs open and obviously your waste from outside, and that'll just run straight through the vehicle. Storage, a mirror, some more lights, and a smaller styled skylight similar to the one in the bedroom, which has got a blackout and a fly screen should you want to have it open. Sliding this along, we'll obviously line it so that the door doesn't get wet when showering, and you'll be able to do the same here. So it's covered your vanity unit so you can shower, and this is all plastic lined, so any water will just cascade straight down it and stop any of the wooden furniture getting soaked. So if you did want to use it as some storage inside the vehicle, obviously you'd lift your beds up, and there's some straps in the cupboards to hold the bed boards up in place, and then what you'll need to do is remove the bars which you put into place just to add a bit more support between the structure when you're using the bed. So you'd remove them, and then the bottom floor just lifts up like so, and you can get rid of that one as well by lifting that one up, and then you've got a bit of through loading, and you can just push the step back, lift it out of place and take that out the vehicle, and then you can get larger bikes or a big awning, or if you're going to use it to get some furniture shopping from IKEA, you can get that all in the vehicle by removing those. Under the bed behind the washroom, you've got your trips. So these is your main 240 trips, so should you trip the vehicle out, try here before you try your main site. You've got a hatch there for servicing of the boiler, and then to drain the boiler off in the winter to stop any frost damage. You've got an anti-frost control here, so this drops to 3 degrees, but I wouldn't rely on it, because if this ever become faulty and you're relying on this dropping the water, and this holds 10 litres of hot water, and the water was to freeze in here and split the boiler, flood the vehicle, not only does it invalidate any warranty that's on the vehicle because it's your responsibility to drain it down, but it is costly to repair a boiler or replace it. So to drain it down manually, and I'd always advise that you do this in the winter, is turn the diamond, the button will pop out at the bottom and the nib will pop out the top. Leave that in the open position during the time you've got the vehicle in storage or stood up in the winter, and then obviously when you are ready to reuse the vehicle, you just turn the nib so it's on a slight angle across the vehicle, push the button in. Once the button stays in and the nib goes down, that is the boiler closed and it'll hold water. You'd obviously fill the vehicle with fresh water, come in, go to the cold side of the tap first, you'll get automatic cold water. Go to the hot side, it'll make all sorts of strange noises, it'll cough, it'll splutter. And then what you need to do is wait until you get a steady flow, or should I say a pressurized flow through one tap, then you do them all. But obviously when you are winterizing and you're leaving this open, it's a good idea to leave all the taps open within the vehicle and remove the shower head from the shower hose and lie the shower hose in the shower tray just to stop any water from coiling up in there as well. You can also lift this up as well, and this is just eliminates any water in the hot water lines, so no water can get trapped in the pipes and freeze as well, because on a motorhome all the pipes and tanks are plastic to give you a better payload. Underneath the seat you've got a bit of storage underneath, and you've got a drawer on the front there, and then you push these two coach catches and you've got some more storage underneath the double floor, or should I say the raised floor. And then should you want your table to extend, you can just pull this round, and then with the carb seats turned, you've got dining for two in the back and two in the front. To open the skylight above the lounge, it's just a wind skylight, so you just wind it open like so and wind it close. Again, make sure this is closed before you start travelling. Got a fly screen, so that you pass the two, you just press here, and you've got a blackout blind. And then on the one at the front, you've got just a blackout blind only, as this one doesn't open, it's more for aesthetic looks. So now in the cab, to the right of the driver, you have your handbrake. And then on the doors, to black them out, you've got your MS carb line, so pinch and slide these ones down. And then the windscreen, you just pinch, slide along. Obviously cuts round the sensor there, as there's a sensor for your high beam assist in there. Slide along, it'll open up like so. This little end's got to go in there, and then there's a magnet to keep them shut. So that's how you'd black the windscreen out on an evening, and you'd black the passenger and driver's door out like so. Slide them away, and then on the door itself you've got your electric windows, power folding mirrors on this model, so should you be trying to get through a tight driveway or a tight gap, you can obviously pull your mirrors in. And then you've got your mirror adjustment on the front, which is top and bottom, so you've got two on each side. Headlight adjustment and rear fogs. This customer has fitted a Vodafone 4615 category 1 alarm from Vodafone Automotive, so when you lock the vehicle, it'll automatically put the alarm on the perimeter and the interior. Should you want to turn the interior off, what you've got to do is you've got to put the ignition on, so you see the ignition lights, as you've got ultrasonic sensors which pick up movement, and to turn them off, ignition on, ignition off, within 6 seconds press and hold, it'll flash red like it is now until it stops flashing, and it's turned these off. So now you can leave yourself in or a dog in the vehicle, and you can move around the vehicle, but obviously when you lock it, the perimeter's armed, so if anyone tries any doors, any bonnets, it'll set the alarm off, but the inside won't set the alarm off until you start the engine, and it'll go back to default, and you'd have to do that each time. You've got your automatic lights and indicators, and obviously your wipers this side with trip computer, so you see your fuel usage, your travelling times and your distance and so on. At the bottom you've got cruise control at the top. You get your desired speed and push up and set it. Should you need to cancel it with a foot brake, you can cancel it on the stalk and resume it here to the last set speed, and then you've got the speed limiter at the bottom. So should you not want to go over a speed or be in a camera zone, you can obviously put your speed limiter on, push up slowly, goes up in ones, push up and hold, goes up in fives. You'll be able to see on the display what the speed limiter is set to, but obviously it does have the kick down function, so if you put your foot flat to the floor, you will be able to override the speed limiter for a safety feature. 6-speed manual gearbox with lifter collar into reverse, which will bring on the reverse camera here. And again, this customer has fitted this Pioneer, or should I say Kenwood head unit, which I'll run through in a moment. You've got traction control plus hill descent control, which is pretty useless with a manual. This is not, or should I say, it's more for an automatic. It's pretty useless with a manual. You've got lane assist, so in here at the bottom you'll see the van that's veering to the edge of the lane. Should you veer to the edge of the lane, these will start flashing and beeping, and you'll know that you're veering out the lane, just to gain your assistance back into the correct lane positioning. Hazard lights, locks all the doors because the van conversion's got center locking on all the doors. Heated mirrors, USB for charging and a 12V for charging. You've got 2 USBs here for the Kenwood head unit. Heated and cooled glove box on the top via the air conditioning, and a glove box at the bottom. So you've got your temperature on the outside ring, fan speed on the out, so it must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work. And then you've got your distribution, so where you want the air to go to, face, footwells, screen, and then whether you're bringing fresh air in or recirculating air within the vehicle. To operate your Kenwood radio, so you turn on and off here, and then you've got the squares, you've got your radio, which is obviously FM and AM, or you can go further along and click on DAB, so you can press 1 to 4 to save your favourite channels. We've got iPod and CD, so CD, iPod, USB will work through here. And then you do have your navigation. So you'd enter all your height and your weight. Once I've done that, I'll come back to you and show you how to set your navigation up. So to enter where you want to go, obviously this is showing you the sat nav. It shows you you're driving north, your time and your speed. You'd go to the 3 bars in the right hand corner, scroll down to the magnifying glass which says where to, then you can enter where you want to go. You've got restaurants, you've got lorry use, petrol stations, address. You can obviously enter address, which is postcode, town, and should you be travelling abroad, you can change the country to France, Spain, Scotland, so on. But one thing I wouldn't set up is go home, because go home will want to use an address. So don't put your exact address where you're storing the vehicle in, because if your vehicle is stolen, then they'll know where you live. Put in somewhere like your estate, or if you've got a pub in your village or on your estate, or somewhere that you can get to, and then you can navigate yourself from there to your front door. So you go where to, or you can just view a map and see where you are, and obviously plus and minus just zooms you in and out of the road. Go into the phone symbol, you can connect your phone. So the pin is 4 zeros, the device name, which you can change, so I'll make that easy for you. I'll just put Malibu in there. Malibu camper van. And then all you do is go on your device, turn your Bluetooth on and search for your head unit. Once you've found it, press pair, and then it'll ask you to sync your contacts. Just press allow, and then you can sync so your contacts, so whoever rings with the number saved in your phone book will come up here instead of just a number.